Maybe fasting will help me get into remission. Remission is the goal because I have lymphocytic colitis. Hi there. Welcome to episode 11 of my chronic illness journey. My name is Shay McIntosh Ford and I live in Tulsa with my husband, our 2 boys, and our very spoiled and sometimes strange little puppy. I was diagnosed with lymphocytic colitis last April after my bout with COVID-19 in March of 2020. This show is a vlog of how the colitis affects my day-to-day life. I record what I eat and when, and I drink only water, bone broth, and every other day I can have a single teacup of coffee. On occasion, I will drink a glass of wine, and this is for pain. I can't fall asleep some nights because the pain is too much, so I'll drink a glass of wine to help. And because colitis is an irritable bowel disease, I also talk about the less pleasant parts of it, specifically when I go to the bathroom, because that can be more than once a day, and it varies. Sometimes it's watery, and sometimes it isn't. Whenever I do have a bad trip to the bathroom, I take 2 antidiarrheals. One is the Target brand of Imodium, and the other is the Target brand of Pepto-Bismol. They're both the tablets. I take these specifically because they're labeled gluten-free. I just didn't feel like bothering to check the name brands. The thing about the bismuth tablet, because I eat a carnivore diet, I rarely eat anything sweet. The only time I really eat anything sweet is when I drink a glass of wine. And so that bismuth tablet tastes a little sweet to me. So my running joke is it turns into a different dessert every time I take it. Things that I haven't eaten in years, sometimes, other times just in the last year and a half. Diet most certainly matters in treating this condition, and so far carnivore is working for me. I still have bad days. A lot of that seems to be related to stress. Even mild stress will set me in a flare. And the reason why I know carnivore works for me is because before I started carnivore, I used to have to run to the bathroom 4 or 5 times a day. Now it's sometimes twice a day, and sometimes I don't have to go at all, which is nice. And occasionally I have had a normal trip to the bathroom, which is fabulous. So if you suffer from colitis, I hope that what I say here might help you kind of figure out what might work for you. If you're struggling, if you have no idea what to eat, because most of the time doctors don't know what to tell you to eat. A lot of times doctors say what you eat doesn't matter, which is absolutely not true. Maybe what I say can help you. I hope it does. And with that said, here's my week. Good morning. It is Sunday. That means liver for breakfast. I managed to spill half the butter when I was transferring it to the plate, so hence the extra napkin. Yeah, I didn't need wine last night, so that's good. Hopefully I'll maintain that today. I was so tired. I'm trying to watch football. I'm struggling to stay awake, and I think it's because I'm having another reaction to all the stress from last week, so Reese's Pieces. Alright, so I'm getting in a little close because I know the sound's not all that great on my camera. This is my phone. The reason why is because hubby's on a Zoom call with the MacBook and I'm ready to eat. So I got oxtail. Look at all that yummy fatty meat. Love it. I haven't had any more issues bathroom-wise, but I did have a spasm. I think I'm gonna have a glass of wine tonight. Maybe I'll feel better. But I definitely woke up after having to run to the bathroom this afternoon, so that was what was making me so sleepy. I guess my body's like, okay, I don't feel well, so I'm gonna make you sleepy until I make you sick. I am finally eating today. First of all, it has taken me this long because I completely forgot to thaw out anything to eat for today. I chose beef heart, so that's what's on my plate, and this is a lot, but this is gonna cover me. I'm only gonna eat this one meal today, and I don't know that I'm gonna eat all of this. If I get too full, I'll just put the rest back on the big plate. It was completely frozen when I pulled it out of the freezer this morning, like rock solid. The other thing is, well, I'll go into the rest after I eat. I want to eat because it is also a coffee day. So yes, I waited forever to drink my coffee, and I forgot to brew the coffee while the beef heart was cooking. So I want to eat my beef heart before it gets too cold. It's fine, but still, I want to eat it now. I will talk about the rest of today after I'm done eating, because I feel like I'm repeating last week. I didn't even get a chance to explain what happened this morning before this, and this is probably a reaction to what happened this morning. It was not watery, but definitely not normal. Godiva chocolate, it was never gluten-free, so I haven't been able to have Godiva chocolate in 10 years. This morning, I woke William up for school. He has a sore throat. When they did go to school last week, I allowed them to wear a more comfortable cloth mask. We have N95 masks, and I wish they had worn those instead, but it was more important for them to wear a mask at all if they weren't gonna wear an uncomfortable mask all day. William had an appointment this afternoon to get his booster shot for COVID. That's not happening. It's been rescheduled for next week, but he's due. He was actually due before they allowed the boosters for his age group. I'm actually not surprised that he picked up a sore throat if it's COVID. So this morning, I made William wear his N95 mask while we dropped Charlie off to school. We were gonna go back to that same testing center. It was more than twice as long. It was insane. We would have been there for about 7 hours or more, and given that I needed to take these today, I would have been stuck in the car messing up my pants. We decided not to do that. Fortunately, my husband, he works for Verizon. They offered free at-home COVID tests to Verizon employees and their families, but that we won't get that until tomorrow. And I knew that, I'm like, okay, well, go ahead and order it, and then we'll have it for the next time. Given how long that stupid line was and how long it took us to get the results anyway, the first time, we're just gonna wait until tomorrow when the tests come in. But Charlie's fine. He said he didn't have anything, and I'm fine. I mean, my normal symptoms, which, everybody's like, you have diarrhea or sore throat, or are you tired or fatigued? I'm like, well, that's kind of all the time for me anymore, which is why I got tested last week. So far, William seems to be okay. He says that it feels a lot like when he was hospitalized for flu a few years ago. He has a lot of phlegm in his throat, and it's sore. Even though he was 10 when he was hospitalized, he still presented with croup, and I never thought that he could get croup at that age, but it was like croup, the flu was, and he says it feels like that again. It's just that it's not as bad, and it's probably because he had his flu vaccination. So if he's negative for COVID, then he has flu, probably. And the reason it's not as bad as it was previously is because we forced him to get his flu shot. I'm glad we did, because right now the hospitals are overrun, and if he had the same problem with flu, he would be dead. There wouldn't be a bed for him. So please get vaccinated. Please wear your mask. I can't overstate this. I am not going to try to work today. I was gonna do all my writing today, but I'm gonna read and knit. That's what helps me relax. This time it was watery. So that phone call was from the school, and guess what? All the rest of the week, they have to distance learn again. The boys are going to be home, both of them starting tomorrow, all the way through next Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday. Mask mandates are illegal in this state. William said 70% of his classmates, only 70%, were wearing masks. So 30% of those kids are unmasked and spreading this stupid virus around. And this is why we keep going home. I don't understand this. I thought parents wanted their kids in school. If you want to keep your kid in school, make them wear a mask so that we don't lose teachers to the virus. I mean, it's not deadly, but they can't teach if they're sick, right? I don't. So now it's time to take this. I think I was interrupted. Yes, it was watery this time. And it's all stress-induced. I absolutely know it is. Twizzlers again. It has to be a really good dessert. I am so frustrated. I'm gonna go with Twizzlers because that was always my favorite, and it is absolutely impossible for me to eat that again. It's been impossible for the last 10.5 years. Even before keto, there was never a substitution for Twizzlers. So that's the one I miss the most. Good morning. It's really early for breakfast, but I am gonna go ahead and eat my beef heart in the ghee butter. And the reason I'm eating so early is not particularly because I'm terribly hungry, although the last time I ate was about 1 o'clock yesterday. It's because I have a doctor's appointment and it's 2 hours away. I better eat now. Because of my high LDL, every time I see a regular doctor, of course my doctor's a regular doctor, but every time I see like a mainstream doctor, they always want to put me on a statin. I can't take statins. Not gonna happen. It'll just aggravate my symptoms, and I don't need them. So I see a keto-friendly doctor in Oklahoma City. He says as long as my other numbers are fine, he's not real worried about it, because he knows that there haven't been any credible studies to prove an elevated LDL by itself will cause heart disease. There's just no proof of that. Yesterday, I just had the one meal. It was at 1 o'clock, which is actually kind of nice because that means I'm not hungry for this morning. So it means I can eat without feeling like overstuffed. I did need the wine last night, unfortunately. I almost didn't. I think part of that pain last night was just feeling frustrated and stressed, and yes, the wine helps you unwind. I might have been able to just go without. I probably should have tried. It's just so hard to sleep when you're not feeling well. All right, it is time for dinner. Beef heart in the ghee butter. Didn't have a lot of issues today. A little crampy, especially on the drive. I didn't have to run to the bathroom, which is good. Talking with my doctor, and he actually recommended that I try some more extended fasting to see if that might help reset my gut. I am watching some videos from Dr. Fung, which I will link down below. I borrowed his book from the library on fasting. Unfortunately, it's not an audiobook. I like audiobooks because you can speed up the reading. I'm not ready to fast yet because I have that big beef heart that I have to finish eating. I do need to make more bone broth if I'm gonna fast. Hopefully that will help kind of reset my gut so that I can handle stress just a little better, because it doesn't take a whole lot of stress to set me off. Good morning. It is time for breakfast. This is the beef heart in the ghee butter. Today's coffee day. I'm feeling okay so far. I'm a little crampy this morning. Definitely crampy last night. I had to have a glass of wine, and I found out that the wine store actually sells Cabernet Sauvignon in the organic, no sulfite added wine. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me this the first time? I was drinking that stupid red blend, which has a lot more sugar in it, and I like the drier wine anyway. I was under the impression they only had the one, hoping to get to the point where I won't need it at all, except for maybe that time of the month, which is coming up. Oh, I had my mammogram this morning. It was at the same clinic that had the drive-through COVID testing. I had to be there at 7:15. The drive-through COVID testing doesn't open until 8, and there was already a line all the way down the street. I couldn't stop to drive it to see how long it was. If I did, I would have been late for my appointment. I mean, this is just insane. And the fact that our state Secretary of Education is criticizing schools for closing because they claim that the schools are fearful of the virus. No, they closed because there aren't enough teachers, because mask mandates are illegal, which would have slowed the spread of the virus. If we had a mask mandate in the schools, the virus wouldn't be so fast to burn through everybody, and we wouldn't have had to close the schools. I don't understand. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get political, but science isn't one way or another. This is fact versus fiction. Fear is fiction right now. It's not fear. They're not closed out of fear. They're closed because there aren't enough people in the classrooms to teach these kids. Okay, I'm gonna stop getting stressed out now. And this is why I need to just knit, listen to a book, and stop obsessing over the idiot politicians who have never entered a classroom, except as a student. Because I was a teacher twice. I burned out both times, and I remember both attempts at teaching. The first week of classes, I got the flu because schools are petri dishes. Enough stress. This is angel food cake. Time for dinner. And it's Wednesday, so I have liver, and the reason I didn't eat it for breakfast was because I also have beef heart, which I don't like to eat before bed. I could have eaten it this time, but I didn't know if I was going to be hungry enough. I'm not really hungry. I know I need the liver for the nutrients. I'm learning a lot about fasting though, so I'm kind of excited to try it. I borrowed his book on fasting too, so I have to find out about doing bone broth. I think I just need to take all the fat out of the jars of broth and maybe even strain it, because sometimes extra protein gets caught inside the bone broth jar when I ladle it out. No other issues so far. Hopefully I won't need wine. Oh, and I had my mammogram this morning and it was negative. That's what I expected, because sugar and carbs, well, sugar is carbs, but high carbohydrates is what fuels cancer cells. Time to eat. This is beef heart in the ghee butter, and I am eating this late in the day because I had a dentist appointment at 10:30 and I decided just to wait. But then we did the fluoride treatment, which meant I had to wait another hour. I actually waited about an hour and a half just to make sure. That's why I'm eating so late today. The other reason I'm eating a little late is because reading Dr. Fung's book on fasting, I shouldn't do like a 2-week fast, partly because I'm already at my healthy weight. I don't need to lose weight. If I did a super extended fast like that, I don't think I would have enough fat stores to pull from. Plus, he says that it's not healthy for someone with a chronic health condition like a bowel disease. It wouldn't work for someone like that. I am going to try a 48-hour fast eventually, but for now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do 24-hour fasts. I would like to try to eat at the same time every day. I've gone to 1 meal a day, and that's basically what you do with 24-hour fasts. You just eat 1 meal a day, but you eat it at the same time a day, which I never did. I could eat 1 meal a day, and then the next day I would probably eat 2. So I don't think I've fasted for more than like 18 hours. I'm going to do 1 meal a day, the same time a day, starting tomorrow, because I would like to do it around the same time my hubby takes lunch. That way I'm not trying to work while he's in here trying to get his lunch too. 24-hour fasts until I get to the end of my beef bone broth bits. And after I'm done eating the beef bone broth bits, then I can start doing my 48-hour fasts, because I learned the hard way. If you let the beef bone broth bits sit for too long in the fridge, more than a week, they start to sour it's weird. They taste like sour milk, and they smell like sour milk too. Once I make the bone broth, I want to eat those up. Say good morning, because it's technically still morning. My 1 meal of the day is the beef heart in the ghee butter. I mean, it's not been 24 hours because yesterday I ate about 1 o'clock. I'm going to try to eat at 11:30 every day. And the reason why is because hubby takes lunch at 11. That'll give him time to get his stuff and get out of my way so that I can get my stuff and not worry about cross-contamination. So I've got the beef heart. Today's a coffee day. I have 1 more serving of beef heart, and I have bone broth in the Instant Pot right now. I meant to, instead of using ghee butter, like fresh from the jar, I meant to use the extra layer of fat that's in one of my jars of broth. It was from oxtail, and there's a lot of fat in that jar, so I meant to do that, but I guess I'll have to try to remember to do that tomorrow. I hope I don't forget. I don't want to be using the fresh fat if I've already got usable fat in the fridge, especially in the bone broth, because I want to fast and I don't need the fat if I'm fasting. Starting today, this is my 1 meal, and then I'll have my next meal in 24 hours. So far, I'm doing okay. Not a lot of cramping. I did have cramping last night, but it was menstrual. Definitely menstrual this time. So I did have a glass of wine before I went to sleep, but I haven't had any bathroom issues, so I haven't gone at all. Maybe these will be shorter episodes. Maybe fasting will make it shorter. I just had a BM, and it was normal. I mean, like, everything was normal. Not quite a ghost weight, but close enough. I guess fasting is the way to go so far. Like I said, I haven't had a full 24-hour fast yet. And technically, if I need any wine for menstrual cramps, that will break my fast as well. 1 meal a day works so far. Maybe I'll finally get into remission. Kills the breeze. I have got... What? No. He's not kind. this with a puppy in my lap. At least it wasn't watery, so that's good, but it wasn't normal. I'm going to a social hour with a whole bunch of other writers tonight at a brewery. I'm going to call this a root beer float. And hopefully it doesn't ruin my night. So it went a little longer than 24 hours. I got distracted. William tested positive for COVID. Charlie and I went this morning to get tested. My results already came back, but I don't have a way to check Charlie's because his pediatrician is closed already. But mine are negative. I don't have any symptoms other than my ongoing COVID symptoms. Charlie doesn't have any symptoms, so he's probably negative too. William's still a little congested, so he's still wearing his mask. He has to wait 24 hours after his symptoms go away, and then continue to wear his mask for a further 5 days. Anyway, it's time to eat. This is beef heart, and it's sort of in ghee. I still had the bone broth from when I made oxtail. It had a lot of leftover ghee butter in it, so I put that in here. When I went to pour the broth into jars, I had one full jar and one that just had a little bit. This is the broth from that little bit. It's almost like a beef heart soup. Plenty of fat in here too, which is kind of nice having a soup today because it is cold today. It is, and there's a few little snowflakes coming down. We're supposed to get a little snow today, so not a lot, maybe an inch. 24-hour fast so far is successful. I was a little crampy last night, and it was definitely menstrual, but I did not need any wine. That's good. Didn't have to break my fast that way. Hopefully that stays, but I haven't hit my heavy times. We'll see what happens. I am going to break my fast now. Here we go. Fluffernutter sandwiches. If you don't know what a fluffernutter is, it's peanut butter with marshmallow cream. There's a brand called Fluff, which is just marshmallow cream. So a fluffernutter sandwich. I'm actually a little relieved to take the bismuth because I'm also very nauseous right now. It's possible the beef heart sitting in the fridge too long. I can't eat that much that fast. Of course, it didn't help that I was fasting. It could have been the oxtail broth was in there too long. It's been within a week. I don't know. Could have been a number of things. So let's play our game. Guess what made me run to the bathroom? Was it A, the beef heart sat in the fridge too long? B, the oxtail broth sat in the fridge too long? C, getting up at 6 a.m. to get tested again because we were exposed to COVID? D, finding out that the testing center doesn't open till 10 instead of 8 like they told me? Or E, any of the above? The right answer, as always, is E. My 24-hour fast will not be 24 hours this time around. I'm in my PJs because I'm gonna drink this and go right to bed. I am so tired and I'm hurting so much. I think it's a combination of menstrual and the colitis cramps. Definitely a lot of menstrual. It's one of those days where if I stand in one place for too long, I feel like my insides are gonna fall out. It hurts. No fasting tonight. Hopefully tomorrow. Also, I am going to be late on this recording because I just couldn't get the edits done fast enough. Normally I like to have them done and ready to upload right now before I go to bed, but it's not gonna happen. They will be up tomorrow, but it's not gonna be at 6 a.m. like I prefer. Such is life. And I will leave it here. I hope I've helped you in some way. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave those down below. Thank you so much for watching. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that little bell. And I will see you next time. Bye. We'll see. I say that too much. But we will see. All right, thank you. I don't know what's wrong. It's been up slept there for weeks. Why is it bothering you now? Crazy dog.